Welcome to the Literary Titan podcast. In every episode, we dive into a book we've just read and share our thoughts, from best-selling authors to rising literary stars. We read it. Now let's talk about it.
Şevket Mekko's Albanian Downfall is a political and emotional novel about Maks Prifti, a young journalist in late communist Albania who wants to believe in the system, even as the system keeps proving how little room it has for honesty. The story begins in 1987, when Maks is rejected as a party candidate because of his father's political past. That rejection sets off a chain of losses, first his standing, then his engagement to Emma, and eventually his faith in the language and ideals he spent his life serving. What makes the book interesting is how closely it ties private heartbreak to national collapse. Maks doesn't experience politics as something abstract. It reaches into his job, his friendships, his love life, his sense of manhood, and even his sanity. He's a journalist, so words are his work and his refuge. But he's also trapped in a country where words have been drained by slogans. One of the sharpest lines in the novel comes when Maks thinks, "Power rests on two legs, fear and loyalty." That idea runs through the whole book. As fear begins to weaken, loyalty starts to crack, and people who once performed belief begin looking for exits. The novel has a wide cast, but Maks remains its restless center. Emma gives the story its deepest wound, while figures like Landa, Rosa, Micho, Adnan Lufta, and Endok Drini help show the many ways people live inside a decaying political order. Some comply, some scheme, some dream, some break, and some try to leave. Mekko is especially drawn to people caught between belief and disillusionment, and that gives the book a lived-in texture. It doesn't just tell the reader that a society is falling apart. It shows the collapse through gossip, offices, student protests, sealed envelopes, whispered rumors, and the strange theater of public loyalty. The style is intense, reflective, and often feverish. Maks's inner voice can be dramatic, sometimes spiraling from political thought into memory, fantasy, or despair within a few lines. That rhythm suits a character who's trying to make sense of a world where every relationship feels political, and every political decision feels personal. The book's final movement, with Maks and Emma reunited and then shattered by flight across the sea, turns the national exodus into a tragic love story. By the epilogue, when Maks says, "Now that I've gone mad, I understand the emptiness of a life built on communist ideals." The line lands as both personal ruin and historical judgment. Albanian Downfall is a dense, passionate novel about the end of an era and the people who were psychologically shaped by it. It's part political chronicle, part love story, and part portrait of a man discovering that survival can cost nearly everything. Mekko writes with the urgency of someone trying to preserve the emotional truth of a vanished world, not just its events. The result is a book about Albania's communist collapse that feels deeply human because it keeps returning to the same question Maks can't escape. What happens to a person when the dream he served becomes the force that destroys him?
Thanks for joining us on the Literary Titan podcast. If today's review sparked your interest, be sure to pick up a copy of the book and experience it for yourself. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating, or share it with a fellow book lover. Until next time, keep reading, not just to escape, but to grow.